Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. K Talks Tech YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to see about how we could use copy data tool in Azure Data Factory to copy data from source to destination. So this is the part 5 of Azure Data Factory playlist. So if you haven't watched all the other videos, so please watch the video first before coming to this video so that you can easily understand the topics which is discussed in this video. Cool, now let's get started. So the use case for today's video is, as said before, we are using Azure Data Factory, where inside Azure Data Factory we have something called copy data tool. With this copy data tool, we are going to copy a CSV file from a Azure Data Lake to another Azure Data Lake. So we have two data lake over here. We have a source data lake and the destination data lake. And we are going to copy a CSV file from source data lake and going to put that into the destination data lake. Cool. So now we can jump to the Azure Data Factory and see how we could do that in a demo. As you can see here, now we are in the Azure Data Factory Studio. So as said before, if I go to the resource group, so this is the resource group that I'm working currently. As you can see here, I have two data lake. One is the source data lake and another one is destination data lake. So I have opened these two data lakes in a separate tabs. So if I go to the source data lake, as you can see here, there is a sample CSV file under the source container. And if I go to the destination data lake, as you can see here, there is a container called dest, but inside the container, there is no files over here. So our main use case is to copy this sample CSV file from this source data lake to this destination data lake under the dest container. So that's the use case. So now let's jump to the Azure Data Factory and see how we could do that using that copy data tool. So if I go to the author tab inside the Azure Data Factory, and there will be a plus icon over here. So if I click on this, and there will be an option called copy data tool. So if I click on this copy data tool, so this is how it looks like. Basically, why this copy data tool exists in Data Factory. Because in Data Factory, the most commonly used activity is a copy data activity, which is to copy the data from one location to the another location. Because as we discussed earlier, Azure Data Factory is a ETL tool. So in the ETL tool, the first step is extraction, right? What do you mean by extraction is extracting the data from the source and put that into the destination, right? So that extraction begins with the copy data activity. So that's the reason Azure Data Factory has a separate copy data tool where you can easily create a pipeline to copy the data from the source to the destination. Cool. So now let's see how we can configure this. The first thing is under the properties tab, there is something called task type. So I'm going to go with the built-in copy task, which is the most standard way of doing the copy data activity. So we have other options like using the metadata driven copy task, but I'm not going to explore this in this video. So this video is like a simple copy data activity. So that's the reason I'm going to go with the built-in copy task, which is pretty simple and straightforward. So this is the first pipeline that we are creating using Azure Data Factory. So I want this to be pretty simple. In the future videos, we can explore a lot of other things that are available in the pipelines in Azure Data Factory. So now let's go with the built-in copy task. So after that, we have an option called scheduling. So this is like we have three options, run once now, which means that the pipeline that you're creating now will be executed just only once. Or do you want to go with the schedule option, or do you want to go with the tumbling window option? So I'm going to use this run once now option right now, which is pretty simple. And as I said before, I want the pipeline to be pretty simple. So I'll be exploring about the other two options in the later videos, this how to schedule the pipeline and using some concepts like tumbling window trigger and all other stuff. So for now, you don't have to much worry about these things. So we are going to go with the simple approach, built-in copy task, and just run the pipeline once. Cool. So now we have given all the necessary details under the properties tab. Now let's go to the next part, which is source. So as you can see here on the left side, now we are going to specify the source connection details. So the first type is, as we know that we are going to copy the data from the data lake, the source type would be the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So there will be an option called Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 under the source type. So we can click on the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 and there will be an option to create a connection. So if I click on new connection over here, so in the last video, if you have seen that, to connect to any data source, we need three important things. The first one is the integration runtime, and the next one is the link service connection, and the next one is the dataset. So this is where we are going to create a new link service connection using the integration runtime. So I'm going to give a name called source data lake as the name of the link service connection. So as you can see here, there is an integration runtime which we are using, which is auto resolve integration runtime. So as discussed in the last video, so this is the integration runtime that we are going to use for connecting to any cloud-based data source, right? So since Azure Data Lake is a cloud-based data source, we are going with this auto resolve integration runtime, which is a default Azure integration runtime that gets created while creating the data factory. So I'm going to use this auto resolve integration runtime for now to create this link service connection, and I have given the name source underscore data lake. Now the next part is specifying the authentication type. As you can see here, the default is the account key, but there are a lot of different authentication type like service principal, system assigned managed identity, and user assigned managed identity. So as I said before, to make it very simple, I'm going to go with the account key. So we'll be exploring all the other authentication type in the future videos and what is the difference between each of them. So right now we are going with account key. Basically this account key is like every data lake has a key, and we can use that key to connect to the data lake. For example, if I go to the source data lake, so if I go to the source data lake, under the access keys section, you'll be having keys. So these are some of the keys. So we could use these keys. As you can see here, this is the key 1 and this is the key 2. We could use this key to actually connect to this storage account. Since we are passing this key to the Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Factory will use this key to connect to this storage account. So that's how this account key authentication type works. So we are going to use this account key as an authentication type. Cool. So after specifying that, next we need to choose the subscription. So I have only one subscription, which is the Azure subscription one. And then we need to specify the storage account name. So in this case, the storage account name is the source data lake Mr. K, which is one over here. So after giving all the connection details, there will be an option called test connection over here. So this is basically to test whether Azure Data Factory can be able to connect to the data source, which is specified over here. So if I click on this test connection, so as you can see here, the connection is successful, which means that this Azure Data Factory can be able to connect to the data source. So after testing the connection, which is successful, we can create this link service connection. So now we have done two things out of three, which is like specifying the right integration runtime, which is the auto resolve integration runtime. So after selecting the integration runtime, now we have created a link service connection for the Azure Data Lake. Now the next step would be creating the data sets, right? So for that, the first step would be selecting the CSV file. So there will be an option called browse over here. So if you click on this browse icon, and you can go to the source container. So inside the source container, you can find the CSV file. So this is the file where we are going to copy from source to the destination. So I'm going to click on this file and click on OK. And I'm not going to change any options over here. And if I click on next, you can specify the data format in the next tab, which is the file format settings. As you can see here, by default, the delimited text has been selected, which is the CSV format. So the data factory has detected that the source file is a CSV format. So I'm not going to change this file format to any other format which is available. I'm going to go with the delimited text because I want the file to be copied in the CSV format as well. Now there will be an option to preview data. So if I click on this preview data, you can just preview how the data looks like in the source. So once you are happy about this, and I'm not going to change anything over here, and I'm going to go with the next option, which is the configuring the destination. So now we have all the necessary details in the source. Now we are going to do the same kind of thing in the destination as well. So being the destination is also a Azure Data Lake, we are going to select the destination type as Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and we are going to create a new link service connection for the destination as well. So in this case, I will change the name to destination underscore data lake. And I'm going to use the same integration runtime, which is the Azure integration runtime. And I'm going to use the same authentication type, which is the account key. So now I'll specify the subscription and then I'll choose the storage account name. So in this case, the storage account name is the dist data lake Mr. K. So after specifying all the details, let's check if the connection is successful. So if we click on this test connection, so as you can see here, the connection was successful. So now I'll create this. Cool. So now we have created the link service connection. Now the next step is to specify in which location the file needs to be copied, right? For that, I'll be using the same browse option over here, and I'll go to this container, which is dest, and I want to copy the file inside this container. So I can click OK over here. For example, what this means is this is the destination storage account and this is the dest container. I want the files to be copied to this location. So that's what we specified over in the folder path. So after this has been done, I'm not going to change anything over here, and I'm going to go with the next option. So this is like to select the file format of the data set. So I want the same file format, which is the delimited text, which is a CSV format in the destination as well. And I'm not going to change any other option over here. So after that, I'm going to click next. So this is the final settings where you can specify the task name, which is the pipeline name. So this is the default one which it has generated. So I'm going to change this, for example, like copy data pipeline, data underscore pipeline. Cool. So this is the name of the pipeline, and I'm not going to change any other settings over here. Cool. So after that, I'll go with the next option. As you can see here, we can now see the summary of the things that we're doing here. So we are going to copy a CSV file from this Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 to this Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. And you can see some of the source connection details over here and also the destination connection details over here. So once you're happy about this all settings, you can go ahead and click next. So now what it will happen is Azure Data Factory copy data tool will validate and deploy the steps, which means that it has created a data sets for you, it has created the pipelines for you, and also it has run the pipeline once for us, which means that if I click on finish over here, and if I go to the storage account, the destination storage account, so if I click on refresh over here, as you can see here, the file has been copied to this destination container. So this is the file which is in the source as well, right? So if I go to the source storage account and if I go to the container and go to the source, so this is the exact file that has been copied to this destination storage account over here. So now if I go to the Azure Data Factory, as you can see here, the copy data tool has created many things for us. For example, it has created a pipeline called copy data pipeline with the copy data activity. And also it has created two data sets. One is for the source data set and another one is for the destination data set. And also if I go to the manage tab and under the link service connection, as you can see here, we have created the source data lake and also the destination data lake. So this copy data tool has created these pipelines and the data sets for us, which is really convenient for doing any kind of copy data in a fast-paced manner. But however, this is not a preferred way of doing the copy data activity because a lot of data engineers will be creating this copy data activity from scratch by creating these pipelines and data sets and the link service, everything from scratch. So in the next video, we'll explore how we can do the same set of things that we did using the copy data tool. Let's see how we can do that from scratch using the pipelines. So that's it for today. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. See you in another video. Until then, cheers. Bye.